The tap dancing Olympics has started yet again. This time, the main contender of the entire show is DL Hughley. This comes after he has given a massive amount of backlash to Snoop Dogg for being a free thinker and just performing at the crypto arena for the inauguration. These tap dancers are professionals, and there's nothing that they won't do to grift the black American people into hating the white man.
That was Donnell Jones. You know what's up. So, of course, Snoop has responded to the backlash he received for performing for a Trump event. One of the things he pointed out was that we always stick together. We're good at tearing each other apart, which is pretty constant. It's pretty consistent when somebody gets into trouble. It takes backlash from the community. It's always a communal thing. It isn't any action they took. It is the fact that we can't stay together, that we can't stick together, that it's us always attacking us. But that flies in the face of the reality of what's happening right now. It is not us who are tearing down affirmative action. It is not us who is tearing down DEI. It is not us who are tearing families apart. It is not us who have decided that affirmative action and rollbacks that have been that had precedent for 50, 60 years are gone. It is not us that is doing that. It is the man you decided to perform for. It is not us who
Trump ain't rolled back anything after 50, 60 years of no damn executive order. The type of cap that these people have, they're so uneducated, and it's terrifying because they have a massive audience. So he's rolling back, you're telling me, systems that's been put in place for the past 50, 60 years on the first couple of days through executive orders? Not possible, bro. But what he can do is he can roll back the actions of President Biden, which every president, when he comes into office, he rolls back typically the executive orders from former opposing political party presidents. It's a system as old as time. But yet D.L. Hughley is coming in, making it seem like it's something exclusive of Trump, and still finding a way to attack Snoop Dogg for getting his money and performing at the crypto ball the day before the inauguration.
ridiculed you. It was Elon Musk who showed your clip from 2017 and another from 2025 and said the vibe shift is real. It wasn't us that did that. It is. I think most people are disappointed because they saw you a specific way, and you have a right to kind of interpret and do whatever artistically you want to. No one's begrudging you that. But why the attack on the community because they disagree with something you did? You performed for a guy they knew would do what he's doing. But it's us that have the problem. It's us that are wrong. It is us that can't stick together. 92%.
This dude is actually a professional tap dancer, I'm telling you. And he's always been a Kamala Harris supporter and a Democrat supporter. He has never been an open free thinker. The thing that I can respect about a lot of these Democrats we're starting to see now that they're open thinkers like conservatives. Conservatives have no problem with giving backlash to prominent conservatives in their industry. But these Democrats, they like to protect and hone each other's skills and create this, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a bulletproof shield of propaganda that they make and make each other seem as if they're perfect. In turn, it destroys the party because if you don't address the problems that are in front of you, they get larger and larger. The party as a whole has become a problem. And without them addressing the problems and claiming that the problems are only from conservative, they've lost the culture of America. And people like D.L. Hughley has become so addicted to the lie itself that he knows that it's a losing argument, but it's become an essence of who he is as a person that he can't let it go. Because letting go to lie at this point would be letting go himself.
A black woman voted against this man. 86% of black men have voted for him. Almost 90% of black people in general voted against him. We stuck together. We decided that this was a man who was bad for our community. We stuck together. We didn't try to tear each other apart. We tried to protect each other.
And he's talking about over 80%. I think it was black women that had 89%. Black men definitely pulled through and voted a whole lot higher in droves for Trump than damn 90%. It was like 60 or so. But to sit there and say that black men was almost like 90% voting for Biden, that's crazy. Now, black women was, I think, 89%. They'll just say whatever they want to say as long as the audience is willing to listen. I'm trying to figure out, like I was talking to my best friend Malachi, how is this Negro a king of comedy? He's the most unfunny king of comedy. I'm not saying this because he's politically different. Hell, Steve Harvey is a raging Democrat. Motherfucker's funny. Steve has had some funny moments. D.L. Hughley is genuinely unfunny. Hell, I could say pretty much all the kings of comedy from what we know are liberal. We don't know. I mean, I would assume Bernie Mac would have been more conservative, but I like Bernie Mac. I would like to know that. I would like to think that Bernie Mac is conservative. But I'll say this. I know that it seems like majority of the kings of comedy, if not all of them, are Democrat. And this Negro is not funny. That doesn't change the fact. Those niggas are. He's just not funny. And it feels like, I don't know. It's like the CIA put these people in positions to be celebrities or to be one of the top goats of a time. That way, when these times come for political events, for when they're old and quote unquote wise, they can be a supporting voice of propaganda, and it'll make a movement because they are deemed a legend in their field. It's like they send us these legends just for times like this to come out and speak up on some MK Ultra shit.
And the very man who knew would do the very things he's doing, you decided to entertain. It isn't anger or hate. It is honestly people being disappointed. But why is the most common refrain whenever somebody gets to a situation like that, you tell us we can't stick together? We've shown you we have. We've shown you we did. We voted in more specific numbers than any other demographic in the nation. We did stick together. And if you're so angry about the backlash you're getting, you need to talk to the 2017 version of you.
Yeah, this 2017 version of Snoop was lost. But guess what happened, DL? Donald Trump bailed out Snoop Dogg's homeboy, which no Democrat president was going to do, allowed him to get bailed out, which allowed Snoop to purchase death row, and Snoop is repaying his gratitude for a president that took care of him when he didn't have to. Snoop Dogg disrespected Trump and Trump supporters, yet Trump still stood for Snoop, took care of him. Snoop deemed it respectable. You know why? You know why Snoop stood with Trump? Because Snoop saw something that Ice Cube did in 2020. He saw that the Democrats aren't willing to do for our community. Ice Cube went to the Democrat DNC. I don't know if it was Chicago or what. And the Democrats told him that he can create a plan. No, he was asking what could they do for the black community. And he was telling them that he wants to see a plan made for the black community to help them, like the Platinum Plan that President Trump had. He goes off and get told by these people, the Democrats of the DNC, that they would provide a plan within 48 hours. As of 2025, Ice Cube is still waiting on a response. And Ice Cube hasn't been rocking with Democrats from what we can tell since, for the most part. He's more so independent, but they definitely lost his support. Because people like Ice Cube are human beings and they can see these people aren't for us. But D.L. Hughley is willing to defend people that aren't willing to defend his own people. They are what you call by definition a coon. Look at this Negro. You gonna tell me this not a coon? I mean, it's just absolutely insane. Look at him. Let's take a minute to observe him. He's a sellout. You can tell. He looks like one. And we have to stop having these old heads wearing this 20-year-old adult clothing to act like they're cool and hip and one of us. This nigga could be an alien for all we know. They're here to spread propaganda and spread narratives and push and cause division.
The 2017, there was said that you would ride out anybody that performed for him. Anybody. And you use very colorful language. So it isn't us that you have a problem with. It is you. The 2025 version of you is at odds with the 2017 version of you. So it ain't the us that got to get it together. It's you. You need to have a conversation with the man in the mirror. What is so different about the 2017 Snoop and the 2025 Snoop? It ain't us. We ain't in it. This is an inner turmoil. You don't need to look at the community. Look in the mirror. That's a little note from the GED section. Got a GED report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show. Madam Vice President, we're here on the third stop of your economic.
So this is the person that's giving Snoop all that backlash.
This tour is about getting information to folks about what we are doing to expand access to capital, how we have increased by 50% the number of federal contracts that are going to minority-owned businesses, what we're doing to help people improve their credit scores. Because I know you know that we have so many folks in the community who have ambition, who have good ideas, but need some assistance around how to turn that into a business that can thrive and do well.
So this is about expanding their knowledge of.
She's saying a whole lot of nothing. Like I said, they're willing to defend those that's not willing to defend his people. What is she saying about black prosperity? What is she saying that can compare to anything that Trump is doing for his people?
Resources.
That's right.
And if you guys haven't seen it on my last YouTube video that I touch on it, let's see what Snoop Dogg response was.
So all the hate, I'ma answer it with love. Y'all can't hate enough on me. I love too much. Get your life right. Stop worrying about mine. I'm cool. I'm together. Still a black man. Still 100% black. All out. Till you ball out. Or till you fall.
And people like D.L. Hughley have no problem chilling with Snoop, getting benefited from being by Snoop, have no problem with being friends with this guy throughout his whole career until he speaks on something that isn't a part of your ideology. And yet, D.L. Hughley is confused when Snoop say we can't stick together. D.L. Hughley thinks sticking together is everyone voting Democrat. No, nigga. Sticking together is when we all vote differently and still say we can be family and still make sure conservatives do right by their people and liberals do right by their people, because guess what happens? America gets taken care of. You don't want to have 100% all blacks on liberal. Why? Because it allows for blacks that do exist, because it'll never be 100% anything. The blacks that do exist, they're not going to be able to get much done in conservative parties. Oh, is it racism? It's racism. You have to exist by droves, by majorities to get heard. One person is never loud enough when you're comparing it to communities and people. So when you have these council meetings, town hall meetings, all these things, and you don't see black people in attendance, that's typically why you see laws and bills and things get pushed out that don't reflect black people being in the building, because black people weren't in the building to air out their grievances. We do not stick together. And we definitely don't stick together when we don't stick together. And I know that's almost like a hypochondriac, but I think true unity, and just like freedom of speech, is being able to remain peaceful, to remain a team, to remain a tribe, a family when you don't agree. I mean, that's freedom of speech. Freedom of speech isn't about protecting the speech that you like. It's about protecting the speech that you don't.
Well, I ain't going nowhere. Come right here. Yeah. On crypto. Yeah, get the crypto on crypto. Here we go. We gotta learn to pick each other up instead of pulling each other down. That's what we great at as black people. We great at tearing each other down. You could be up one minute and they'll try to pull you down the next. But I'm a strong black man. I'm cut from a different cloth. Can't tear me down. I'm one of God's child, one of his children. And I'm taking the load. Here we go. Shout out to my grandkids and my kids and my beautiful wife, my brother, uncles, aunties, family members, cousins. Y'all know what it is. Bang, bang. The only way to beat hate is with love. Learn from the dog. Teach you something every day. God bless y'all. I'm out. Hey.
So Snoop Dogg is obviously, he's taking the high road. You know, that video dropped like 4 days ago. Just had to add that just in case any of my viewers did not see it. Snoop Dogg's taking the high road of it. Interesting to see more celebrities become conservative and push conservative messaging. I know people are going to say, don't trust them, don't trust them, don't trust them. But when the culture becomes conservative, it's not about trusting anymore. It's just about people following a trend. If you wanted to take over, for the conservatives watching, if you wanted to take over American culture, then it's going to have people that you don't agree with and align with become conservative. When it becomes the culture, it becomes popular. That means anyone and everyone can join in and be a part of it and identify. That's what we're witnessing right now. So I'm not surprised to see people we don't agree with become conservative, like the David Sacks, the Snoop Doggs, hell, many of the other people. Please like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and click the notification bell to stay updated on my next post. Appreciate you guys for helping me make the view average go up. You are awesome. Let's keep this moving until we break the next narrative together.